So we got an update on the Foolio murder trial. Obviously, I've been following the Jacksonville gang wars and drill music scene for quite some time. The murder of Foolio was one of the saddest conclusions of a hip-hop story that maybe I've ever seen. You know, I know he was hated by everyone in the city, but I was really rooting for Foolio to make it with the music. Unfortunately, this group of killers got to him before he could get out of these streets and out of these dangerous situations, and they've all been found guilty. But the question now is whether or not they'll be getting the death penalty or just life without the possibility of parole. Now, when it comes to Florida, because this murder was committed in Tampa, okay, now they're in the sentencing phase. This means that they will potentially either be getting the death penalty or life. Now, a former prison warden would explain that in Florida, when they say life in prison, unlike a lot of places, especially England, they actually really do mean life in prison. Never, ever getting out. Look at this.
An inmate serving life will never, ever get out. There is no parole in the state of Florida, and they're not ever allowed outside the razor wire and the fence of a secure facility.
So the only way that an inmate serving life without parole would leave is when they die by natural causes.
Objection, Your Honor, asking you to.
The only way out is death by natural causes, right? They're saying he looked like his heart sank. Okay, Sean Gathright, one of the killers. They said his heart looked like it sunk to his ass when they said that, man. Really, really crazy. It says, if I'm Sean, I'm rushing gutter at my recess, dead ass. Why Sean worked hard for his new life and home. Why? Ain't no point fighting gutter. It says Florida is the worst state to commit crimes. They really hanging dudes. They say Florida and Texas. He's definitely still hurting for sure. On the other hand, though, Sean never really got to live an adult life, so he won't really know what he's missing out on. Though he can imagine it. It'll take a minute, but eventually he'll be able to cope with it, in my opinion. Rashad is actually leaving a rack of kids behind. That's a whole different level of pain and regret. Yeah. Crazy. Them boys righteous got life. Well, we will be seeing their picks in the sub 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years down the line. They're saying this, it wasn't his first time arrested. So, essentially, all right, Sean Gathright and some of his friends that were in on the murder of Foolio, they're now facing hard labor, okay? Hard labor. And these clips from Law and Crime of how this prison labor camp has been described, it's been compared to real-life slavery. It says, get it together, guys. It's real-life slavery out there. Don't trick yourselves.
And based on Mr.Gathright's age, physical abilities, things like that, do you think that the prison would benefit from him in a work capacity if he were sentenced to life without parole?
I say yes, with my experience, not only just in classification, but as former warden and even as a jail administrator. He's someone that's young, he's healthy. In reality, we need that labor, we need that sweat equity. And we will put them out there to work because we do have an aging prison population, jail administration. We have that. So we put these young individuals to work and get some sweat equity out of them since they are young and actually can do the work.
It's honestly dark. It's dark, man. Real life slavery, sweat equity. They're talking about them boys like they're livestock. Literally, people say all the time, show this to the kids in school, but I've never really heard anyone explain it so casually like this. This is what needs to be shown to kids. Real life slavery. It's literally in the Constitution too. Slavery allowed if you're in prison. Crazy. People saying I've had livestock smarter than this crew. Two of them boys just cattle at this stage. Oh my God, it's crazy, all right? He said, bro will make a good slave. Bro, and he sound giddy talking about his new potential slave. He wants Sean in that field ASAP. What the hell? Makes it worse. He's been retired for over a decade. He's a private jail consultant now. He has a good pension and benefits, but he's out here consulting just for the love of the slave game. What the fuck? Is that true? This guy don't even need to be doing this. He goes from jail to jail, begging the judge for young sweat equity. How is this a real thing? It says he wants Sean bad. He can taste it. He probably salivating and drooling at the mouth. The only thing he's missing is rubbing his hands together like I don't even know what that word is. Man, that's great. That clip. That's one of the craziest things. And I'm just shocked by the absurdity of it. I don't think this is funny. I just think the fact that we're even debating this, the fact that this guy's even in court begging the judge, can I have him on the labor camp for life? Could I have free labor for life? It would help me so much. What the fuck? What are we doing as a society? This is insane. Debating in court about Buddy being a slave for the rest of his life. First night post-sentence, I'm out of there. Man. That's crazy. I don't really feel bad for any of them. This is like some psychological torture shit. I don't really understand the purpose of this kind of testimony. Not just that, but the fact that this is being broadcast to the whole world. Like, we all getting to see the warden begging for your sweat equity in front of the world. This is the perfect reason to stay the hell out of the streets, people. All right, that's what I'm thinking. I don't. Man, it's actually crazy. They're saying it's a defense witness. They're saying like his life has a value as a slave. It was the defense witness. He was saying death row can't work and don't leave their cell and they just have meals brought to them in their own TV, basically saying it's nice. Life without parole, have to work a minimum of 60 hours per week, unpaid, and contribute to society forever, so it's no easy way out. They're saying I thought he was up there talking for the state. I thought his ass was up there for the state the way he up there talking. What the fuck? He's basically telling the jury that, look, instead of giving him the chair, he's young and we can work him to death for the benefit of the state. If the jury agrees, Sean gets to live. He wants this. Basically just said he's going to be a slave till he can't work no more. He said disability and aging doesn't exempt them either, talking about they'll work till they'll die. This is in America. You're going to be life and expect me to work? LMAO, I'm gone by next count. She said, and what if they refuse? And he did a deep dive into what happens if they don't work. This man's testimony had me fucked up. Oh my God, here we go. They lose privileges like visits, tablets, phone, and commissary. If they still refuse to work, they're moved to a close management, which are specific prisons where they're locked down on a single cell, no commissary, tablets, benefits, no visits. They're let out for rec and shower 3 times a week and remain there until they agree to work, which they eventually do. Wow. Life without parole is a crazy sentence. Them boys should have taken a plea. They weren't offered a plea. Yo, you guys, the crazy thing, she's trying to save him from the death penalty. She's making a case that he'd be more useful in society with life in prison. These are his only 2 options. Because Florida sentencing guidelines, either death row or becoming a real-life slave, stay out of the streets. This is crazy. Listen, I'd go out by cop right there in the courtroom. You got me effed up. Sweat equity for 70 years and minimum. Got that man ass in the chain gang. We need that sweat equity. Man would have crashed out on the judge, jumped over the desk like Buddy did that female judge. I've never heard of anything like this. Honestly, I'm absolutely dumbfounded by what I've just seen. All right. So it is really sad. It's bizarre. I mean, you couldn't have picked a worse place to commit such a heinous crime, guys. And, you know, unfortunately, these are the consequences. I didn't know consequences went that high. 70 years of labor. I can't believe it. So anyway, Gudazay, who acted as a lookout alongside the woman Alicia Andrews, would actually get emotional during the court proceedings after hearing about basically, you know, how the potential life sentence or death penalty will separate him from his kids forever.
So I understand it can be. So I understand what's at stake here, I guess you could say, and I really would like the jury to know that removing Isaiah from his children's lives would be devastating to not only the children, but his family, all of us. He's a dedicated father, and he needs to be there for his children.
Thank you, ma'am. No further questions. Tender the witness.
It's so sad, man, and that's really what you throw away when you crash out like this, man. You thinking about killing Foolio? You thinking about smoking on 6? You ain't thinking about you might got 5, 6 kids growing up without a dad. He might have 3. You might have 3. You might have a bunch. You might have 1 kid. Your girl might be pregnant. You might never, ever get to hold your kid. Like, this shit crazy. This is how much is on the line here. And it's dudes crashing out thinking they got nothing to lose. They don't even realize. It says dudes don't be thinking about them kids before the drill. And that he ain't think he was going to get caught excuse is dumb as hell. Every time you commit a crime, there's a chance of getting caught, no matter how slick you think you are. He knew the risks and he chose to leave his kids fatherless. Undeniable facts right there. They're saying dude's chest feel like Tyson just punched him. I know them tears cold as hell. Just when it gets down to brass tacks, the children are the losers. They will have a hard life growing up because of the decisions and choices their parents made. Life is so unfair for kids. They didn't ask to be brought here. That's so true, man. Exactly. I hate this kind of shit. That's how the cycle continues. If you want to commit crimes and throw your life away, the very least you can do is not have kids beforehand. Just selfish. I actually relate to that. I don't actually want kids, all right? Not because I'm planning to crash out and commit murder of a famous person, but like, I don't know. I might got born into some shit I don't want to be part of. I don't want to birth some kid into. I got a whole lot going on. I got a lot of complicated shit going on. You got to roll around being associated with me and just anything I've got going on. And then maybe one day I do want to crash out. Maybe I do. Maybe one day I'm just ready to crash out. right? I might crash out my personal life from time to time. So better just don't have those kids. It's a selfish decision. It's a thoughtless decision. And a lot of guys shouldn't have kids, but they be shooting up the club, just not thinking about things. I have an odd feeling Ghost is not going to cry on this part. The Gutter's fingers get their own cell. All right, he wanted to be gangsters. Now these are the consequences. So a defense mental health expert would actually come out for his part of the trial to testify that he actually had cognitive limitations, right? He's saying he on the short bus and he shouldn't be held to account so badly because of his mental deficiencies.
Indicated that his reading, his ability to sight read, was at a 5th grade level. His math skills were at a 3rd grade level. His spelling skills were at a 8th grade level, and his sentence comprehension skills were at a 7th grade level. The 7th grade level being an ending 7th grade level. Overall, all of his scores from his worst subject area, which would be math, which is at a 3rd grade level, to his best subject level, which would have been the sentence comprehension, or I'm sorry, the spelling, was around an 8th grade level. What's interesting about that academic testing is that it's all below it's not high school level academic functioning.
He didn't even make it to high school level in every subject. People saying this is very sad, all right? This is bad, this is sad. It's a very good strategy to effectively save his life because the state can't execute a person with intellectual disability. It's considered cruel and unusual punishment. No wonder why he was gangbanging. Imagine letting this guy convince you to throw your life away to go gun down a local rapper like he's a rival mob boss. I knew this when he was doing gangbang arts and crafts in his bedroom. The bully down poster was the clue. This lady just confirmed it. Looked like a 6-year-old did it in art class. Ace found his hitters in special ed. Bruv. It's crazy, bro. It's really sad. It is really, really sad. So while his sister was actually on the stand, she actually talked about Sean Gathwright's blessed upbringing too. And Sean would basically talk about... Sean would basically just sort of break down and cry, basically seeing his sister explain like the nice upbringing they had and how she didn't have to. He really shouldn't have got himself involved in all this nonsense.
When I think about what's going on,
Okay.
I just miss my brother.
Will you, do you still maintain a relationship today?
Mm-hmm.
You're able to talk to him and communicate?
Yep.
And will you continue to do that?
Of course.
And hopefully in whatever way possible, could he still be involved in your kids' lives and be an uncle?
Of course.
Do you have a moment?
Yes.
I'll pass the witness.
Okay. Questions?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Gathright, you have characterized your and your brother Sean's childhood as a good, nice, loving childhood growing up. Isn't that true, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
You said that both of you had wonderful, loving, supportive relationships. Isn't that true, ma'am? And
I mean, you know, you should have thought about that before you decided to take Foolio away from his family forever, you know? Says you can tell he's close to his sister and the bond they had. All he has left now is memories. Very sad. Why is he the only one getting sympathy? Because the others haven't gone up yet. I'm sure there will be something that sticks out for them too. Says he think he crying now. Wait till they close that big ass prison gate, knowing you never leaving out that bitch unless you die or get transferred to another jail. Said you guys have to understand, even if he committed the crime, this takes a toll on his family. I once had a cousin who was in jail all the time, and my grandma was constantly sad and depressed prior to her death. This affects everyone, not just the person responsible. That's facts, man. That's facts. And then people saying, well, I wonder what the murdering of your loved one feels like. Facts. Even worse. I've seen a dude play gangster, then he broke down, lost a lot, lost his mind in the courthouse. Right? Kodak. It's crazy how Sean really showed no emotions throughout. Must have thought he really beat it. Exactly. Who gives a F about this? He'd done it to himself. Think he Michael Jackson. Right? I understand why he's crying life without parole or the death penalty because of Florida. If they committed the crime in another state, I doubt they'll be facing life without parole, maybe 25 to 50. Yeah, they would have definitely had a plea deal on the table for 2030 where I'm from. I understand that. I'm a Floridian. I've seen some wild cases, but I'm sure in any other state, this guy right here would have had a minimum life without parole. He murdered someone in an ambush and used a rifle in a malicious way, played with evidence and other charges like attempted murder. And the fact it was well thought out and planned, he went over and above and beyond to make sure Foolio died, considering he literally shot Foolio before this. There was no way in the land of the free that this guy would ever see the outside of a jail cell again. So at one point, Sean Gathright was actually questioned on the stand, and he would even open up about his privileged life. They said, this is a Reddit post, it says, this dude had the sweet life of Zach and Cody. This dude's life was so sweet. Dude had the whole platinum package. Far as that family stuff, the whole foundation was laid out for this dude. Too good. Grandma's two-parent household, parents in the military, awesome support system. Why the F dude's feeling bad for him, and he had a better life than all of us put together.
Right?
Oh, sir.
Not every kid gets to have a counselor and a role model like Mr. Edwards, correct?
No, sir, I was very blessed.
And not many children get to fly in planes with their stepfather, correct?
No, sir.
And fly around in Asia and get to see islands off the coast of Okinawa, correct?
No, sir, I was very blessed.
You are very blessed, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
And not every kid gets to go to Scotland, right?
No, sir.
Or Ireland.
No, sir.
Or Paris.
No, sir.
Or London.
No, sir.
Or Spain.
No, sir.
Cape Town or Johannesburg? Or both in South Africa?
Cape Town.
Cape Town, beautiful city, right?
Yeah.
You got to go experience that when you were growing up, correct?
I did.
Because you had such loving people around you supporting you, correct?
Yes, sir.
In fact, your grandmother went with you on that trip, did she not? Or not on that one, but on the ones to
Several
Europe,
trips,
correct?
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And we heard you got to meet up.
That's crazy, right? It said, these are the ones that go the hardest in the streets as they feel like they got something to prove. It's saying, dude got 2-3 years of sliding for life in prison. He slid straight into that cell. Didn't struggle financially at all. He had every toy he wanted, best education, schools without stupid goons and shit teachers. Crazy. Now, dude, you were blessed. Dude could have been a doctor or a lawyer, but instead decided to kill Foolio. I don't even know. I've changed. Just got convicted of murder 2 days ago. I've grown, I've learned, I've changed. I don't know how y'all come up with this stuff. I think it's a weird one because I think these guys are so deserving of the consequences of this. I feel like the community around Jacksonville drill music, this is the Duval County subreddit, I feel like the community has kind of collectively decided that these guys, they ain't really worthy of sympathy and they're gonna get cooked too. All right. So yeah. It's crazy. So the prosecutor would actually question him about the events leading up to the murder and the murder itself, and we'd get some more interesting clips.
And you saw the autopsy photos of Charles Jones. My question to you is, after you and your friends inflicted that carnage on June 23rd, and as you were running States 2059C, this is actually you running to shoot them, but when you were running back past that Tesla, were you feeling a lot of trauma at that point?
It was so long ago, I try to not remember anything from that night.
Were you remorseful as you were running back with that AR-15 in your hands?
Like I said, I try to remember nothing from that night.
Was it traumatic to you as you went back to the car with that AR-15? Was it still smoking? Was it still warm in your hands from firing it?
Sustain the objection.
Were you feeling remorse as you were getting back into the Impala?
Like I said, I just try to focus on today and moving forward.
So the next day, that Impala, that was your car. You drove that around, right? It was your mom's, but you drove that car, correct?
Yes, sir. It was my mother's car.
All right. And that was the car you drove from Jacksonville to Tampa in, correct?
I'm going to object beyond the scope.
I'm working to a point, Your Honor.
Okay, why?
It's wild, right? It says, yo, the state of Florida really don't bullshit. This man is frying him. All right, they get paid to do this. It's what they went to school for. They take this very seriously. Bro, the blonde male prosecutor has zero chill. He really want to see those boys put down like dogs. They worked hard for that. Dumb MFs, bro. I mean, they shot up a good Holiday Inn with women, children, and families inside and didn't care for anyone's safety. Fry their ass like a stuffed turkey. Bro got no defense. I would have denied everything. What the F? He tripping, man. Dumb MF. Facts, he just killed his chance for an appeal. He didn't put him... I can't lie, he didn't put himself there. He can say he tried to forget that day because that's what started all this. He never answered any of the state's questions in this clips. So they're not messing around. State knew that was going to draw an objection, but F it, he was still cooking. I'm confused why he's doing this. He killed his chances of an appeal. The state cooked them, boys. There ain't going to be no appeal anyway. This is a Hail Mary to save his life, or else Florida will be executing him. Him taking the stand probably saved all their lives. It'll be hard to sentence someone to death after actually hearing from them. That jury probably won't want to pick and choose who lives and dies after they spare Sean, or if they spare Sean. Yeah. So Sean Gathright would try and go on the remorse run, his remorse tour, 2 days after getting convicted of murder. He would actually apologize to Julio Foolio's family in the court.
To the victim's family, you know, I want to send my deepest condolences, and I understand that it's hard losing a child, a best friend, a brother, a cousin, and for that I just cannot say sorry enough. You know, I feel terrible about the situation, but I'm a firm believer that
We didn't really get what he was a firm believer of there. Hang on, let me find that.
God can use anything for good that the devil wanted for bad. And so I am grateful for the people I've met, for the lessons that I've learned, for just this experience in general, because it's one that I'll never forget, and it's going to shape the rest of my life.
Sounds like there's that saying, it's kind of cheesy, but you make lemons out of lemonade or whatever.
Lemonade out of lemons.
You would agree with me that Charles Jones was young too, wasn't he?
Relatively young, yes, sir.
26, right?
Yes, sir.
That's what the evidence showed us, correct? You were sitting here watching that, correct? The evidence that came in over the last several weeks?
I was right there.
Yeah. And you want to take accountability now, correct? You want to take accountability now that this jury has found you guilty, correct?
Yes, sir.
Weeks after we went through a trial. Is that your testimony?
Objection, Your Honor.
I'm going to sustain the objection.
You indicated this was a traumatic experience. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
That's what you just testified to, correct?
That's what I said.
Basically, right, they was jumping up there. They was ready to cook him, all right? Talking about, oh, you're remorseful now, all right? You know, we talked to him about, were you remorseful as you had the AR-15 in your hands? They just cooked him, all right? They just cooked him. Cooked him constantly. Back and forth, all right? They were saying you was a big part of the plan. Basically, you know...
Were you feeling remorse when you hugged her and got into the 4Runner and left her with the Impala after you wiped it down?
Sir, I'm just telling you that today I would like to express my remorse to the family and to the court.
I understand what you're trying to do today. I'm asking you, since you're trying to convince this jury that you're remorseful, were you feeling remorse that next day or later that day?
I don't remember these days in detail, how I was feeling, what I was thinking.
What about later that night when you went to Orlando? Were you feeling remorse when you were out partying at Club Parlay, celebrating what you had done that day?
That was my sister's birthday party.
What did you feel any remorse while you were drinking Don Julio tequila and putting that in your video and throwing gang signs?
Mm-hmm.
I'm here.
He nearly laughed. Look at him.
Your video and throwing gang signs?
I'm here
Did you
to
feel remorse
testify
then?
about today, sir. We've all seen the evidence. We've all reviewed everything.
Mr. Chance, it's not time for you now to make speeches. You've politely answered your counsel's questions. Can you not answer the state's questions? Is there something about my question you don't understand?
I was getting to
I'm
it.
sorry, Mr. Gathright. I called you Mr. Chance. Excuse me.
I was getting.
After all that evidence came in, and this jury based their true verdict on that, convicting you, now you're taking accountability?
I'm going
Is that correct?
to sustain the objection. I think the question on the table was remorse about Okay?
It is, Your Honor.
You just need to answer that question.
So I'm going to ask you very specifically, okay? So try to focus with a laser beam here, Mr. Gathright.
So basically just asked him over and over and over and over again, right? Were you remorseful when this happened? That cooked him. Absolutely cooked. There was no escape. There was no attempt at apology. I feel sorry. I remorse. Too late, buddy. You cooked, all right? Now, this basically was people online questioning how on earth he could even cry on the stand when police literally have a screen recording from his phone searching for Foolio's location.
Was there volume or sound?
I can't recall. The original post, yes. I can't recall the screen recording had it.
So that's a screen recording of Foolio's story showing his Airbnb so he could work out where he was. Airbnb working it out. He doing the math. And now he crying. Boo-hoo. He was doing all the math. Weren't no crying when he was doing all the math. Said, damn, Six really served himself on a platter. Frustrating. Gutter and Alicia ain't even need to be involved. Foolio was dropping his location all night. It's crazy while Foolio was having the time of his life, he was secretly being stalked just to be killed, and he'll never know. That was every day of Foolio's life. He knew. He knew exactly what was up. That's what don't make no sense. It's crazy. He was ready to go, it must have been. I wonder how much was for on the table for this dude to be dedicated. $200 and a free shout-out. $100, right? His level of stalking, prey, and precision is terrifying. That's what really sticks in those jurors' minds. He did it for fun. A psychopath put down rabid dogs would make the world a better place. It's the most chilling shit, other than the actual shooting, obviously. He screen recorded it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Screen recorded it, right? So Meek Mill would interestingly come out to give his thoughts on Sean Gathwright's crash out. People were saying Meek Mill got to shut the F up sometimes. He was not hypnotized by street trauma. He's not in close proximity to it. He was on the other side of town playing with his camera. It's not an environmental problem with him. He lived in a nice house with a nice family. So Meek Mill, Mr. Tone Deaf, all right, Mr. Bunny Hop himself, he said, our whole community needs to help. It's so sad. R.I.P. Foolio, and prayers to this kid and both families. Seems like he got hypnotized by street trauma. Being close proximity to it, it's more of an environmental problem we're facing. It sounds like he more got hypnotized by who I smoke, all right? Sounds like he got hypnotized by 50 Dead Op. Sounds like he might have got hypnotized by he in a nice house bumping them songs, you know what I'm saying? Them songs. Don't even want to say some of the names because sometimes the song name be the person who died. So people not rocking with Meek Mill. That is one of the dumbest things I've seen in a minute. Okay, Meek Mill doesn't let up when it comes to the buffoonery. But anyway, Rashard Murphy has notably been silenced. All right, he's been silent. He's not been saying much. Says this dude ghost dead ass looks like he has no soul, not a single thought behind those eyes.
Mr. Nix with
When is your ex working to testify? After lunch.
He looks slow to me. Yeah, these slow, dangerous dudes are probably the most, the ones you got to look out for the most. Says, I'm convinced they got him on Thorazine. That shit turn you into a zombie. It's against the law. You can't stand trial under the influence of anything. You can if the doctor in jail gives them to you. Says, no, you can't in the jail. Yes, the morning you go to court, if you even look high, they'll postpone your shit. Trust me, I went into court smelling like weed. They gave me another court date. Because by law, they can't do shit because I was high. I didn't know that. They're saying he either booted or really slow. He's heavily medicated because ain't no way. He lost his brother to the shit, but he gone bang till it through. He lost his brother to the shit, but he gone bang till he through. NBA Youngboy came through 2018, all right? Real shit. That's how it gets in the streets, man, apparently. According to the songs, I wouldn't know because I haven't been in the streets, but anyway, people have been saying he's got 1,000-yard stare, all right? This picture was going around. This one was somewhat viral. 1,000-yard stare, all right? He's seen too much. He's seen too much, or he's super slow. All right, it says lights are on, but nobody's home. On God, that boy gone. No GTA 6 is crazy, bro. Gonna have to find out the ending of One Piece behind a prison wall. Dude looked like Cleveland Brown. I don't know if he looked like Cleveland Brown. I'm not saying that. That life recap hit different when you know certain things and people you won't ever see again. Imagine a room full of strangers deciding your fate for the rest of your life. They're smiling and laughing and shit, leaving, going home, and you going back up the county waiting to be sent to another jail. Send dude staring into his soul. So Davion Murphy, on the other hand, he was in court. He was cheesing, grinning, smiling, which shocked a lot of people. People saying, meanwhile, Davion Murphy having a great time. He loving it. All right. People crying. Out of all of them, I actually think he's the one most at risk for the death penalty. Sean's too young, Gutter never pulled the trigger, and Rashard has 4 kids. Davion just seems like a crash out who don't give a F, and you can tell that boy going to be a nightmare to deal with in prison. It says, to be real, he going to be the only one, the only one that's going to be kicking shit up the road. Bro accepted his fate. He going to be sitting in Rayford on death row with his tablet, watching TV with his feet kicked up. That prison not far from Jacksonville too. Retirement, bro. 3 meals a day. Got his main op. Well respected by his crew and family members, accepted his fates. Didn't bitch and took it like a man. And what's crazy, in prison, he can change and find the Lord too and get that forgiveness. Another chance at redemption for himself. Best way to look at it. Look, that comment has actually changed my perspective. And I think that if you are a certified crash out, this, and I'm not condoning this, but this is the dream. This comment actually really opened my eyes. He's retired. He just retired early. If the streets were a sport, and I'm not doing the comparison to make light of what's going on, but as far as this guy sees things, as far as the streets go, look, he killed the most famous op. He's respected by his crew and family. He's accepted it. He didn't cry. Went to jail. He's going to be in there for life. You know, he can just chill in there, man. He's just chilling there. He redeem himself through religion. He was always going to crash out. It's crazy. It's crazy. All right. It just goes to show you all the different places that people crash out from, man, because you got the rich guy that really should have never been there. He crying, he begging for remorse. It's way too late. You got one of the guys just looking straight special ed, just looking into this. He don't look like he got a clue what's going on. I'm not sure he even knows what happened with the case. And then you got the cold-blooded killer, he in there laughing, he knowing, like, it's over with. It's over with. They didn't even offer them a plea. So it's not even a case of, well, they should have taken a plea and avoid. Didn't even get offered pleas. So, yeah, we will probably get the official sentencing soon. I thought it would be interesting to just do a recap of, these guys basically giving their responses in court to the verdict and stuff like that. But, yeah, I think it's... I wouldn't be surprised if they give them all the death penalty. It's a really famous name involved. It was a public place. Stalk them online. It's got to send a message as a society, really. So I think it could end up being the death penalty. But when we find out, I'll be sure to let you guys know. Thank you for watching this one. I'm going to do a David video. Hold tight. I'm going to do a David video. Just hang in there. I'm going to do another video on David, and then I'm going to kick back. Okay, so stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching the videos that I did today. Chud getting shot. What the hell? What the hell? Chud getting shot? Shooting himself? I wasn't expecting that when I made a video about him, so we went back to back on that today. I've got another video about one of David's Discord mods that's quite interesting. I'll break that down for you soon. I'm tired, gang. I'm tired. I've been struggling, man. I've been so tired and just feeling just not good, gang. Not good. But we're still here. We're still doing content for you guys. I appreciate you. I'll catch you in the next video, folks. Appreciate it. Peace.